Why warts appear and vanish on our skin is, well, one of those curious little mysteries most of us just sort of accept. The strange little growth almost everyone gets, but, rarely understands. At some point in your life, you will probably notice a small, rough bump on your skin that was not there before. It might appear on your finger, the sole of your foot, or near a nail. It does not hurt much at first, but it does not feel like normal skin either. Most people shrug, call it a wart, and move on. But that small growth is the visible result of a microscopic battle taking place beneath the surface of your skin, involving viruses, immune defenses, and chance. Today, we are going to unpack what a wart really is, why it appears on some people and not others, and why the human body reacts to it the way it does. If you enjoy learning the quiet science behind everyday things, this is the kind of topic that rewards curiosity. If you find value in explanations like this, make sure you stay connected to the channel so you do not miss the next one. A wart is not a growth from your body, but a viral hijacking of your skin cells. Medically speaking, a wart is a benign skin lesion caused by infection with the human papillomavirus, commonly abbreviated as HPV. According to the American Academy of Dermatology, there are more than 100 known types of HPV, and only a subset of them cause warts on the skin rather than problems elsewhere in the body. What makes this important is that a wart is not your skin randomly misbehaving. It is your skin following instructions it should never have received. When HPV enters the body through a tiny break in the skin, sometimes so small you never notice it, the virus travels to the lower layers of the epidermis. There, it inserts its genetic material into skin cells and forces them to reproduce faster than they normally would. The visible wart is simply an overproduction of skin cells stacked on top of one another, driven by viral instructions rather than your own biology. The virus does not roam freely, but waits patiently for an opportunity. HPV is remarkably common. The Mayo Clinic notes that most people are exposed to one or more strains of HPV at some point in their lives, often without ever knowing it. The virus does not float through the air. It spreads through direct contact, either skin to skin or through surfaces that have been recently touched, such as locker room floors, shared towels, or public showers. What surprises many people is that exposure does not guarantee a wart. In fact, most exposures never result in visible symptoms. Whether a wart forms depends largely on whether the virus finds a weak spot in the skin and whether the immune system recognizes and eliminates it quickly enough. Your immune system decides whether a wart gets to exist. One of the most fascinating aspects of warts is how unevenly they affect people. Some individuals get them repeatedly, while others never seem to develop one at all. This difference is largely immune-driven. Dermatology research published in journals such as the British Journal of Dermatology has shown that people with stronger, localized immune responses are often able to suppress HPV before it causes visible changes. In contrast, children, adolescents, and people with weakened immune systems are more likely to develop warts because their immune surveillance is either still developing or temporarily compromised. Different types of warts reflect different viral behaviors. Not all warts look or behave the same, and that is because different strains of HPV target different skin environments. Common warts usually appear on hands and fingers and have a rough, grainy texture. Plantar warts form on the soles of the feet and grow inward due to pressure from walking, often causing discomfort. Flat warts are smoother and smaller and tend to appear in clusters, especially on the face or legs. According to the Cleveland Clinic, these differences are not cosmetic accidents. They reflect how each HPV strain interacts with the thickness, moisture, and pressure patterns of specific skin regions. Warts feel stubborn because, well, the virus actually hides from the immune system. One reason warts can be so difficult to eliminate is that HPV is unusually good at staying under the immune radar. The virus doesn't circulate in the bloodstream, and it causes very little inflammation. In medical terms, it's what we call a low-profile infection. A review published in Nature Reviews Microbiology explains that HPV avoids triggering strong immune alarms by, limiting how much viral protein it produces. As a result, the immune system may not recognize the infected cells as dangerous for months or even years. This explains why treatments often focus on irritating the wart. The irritation isn't random, it's actually meant to draw immune attention to the area. Treatments work by waking up the immune response rather than killing the virus directly. There is actually no medication that specifically kills HPV in the skin. Instead, most wart treatments aim to remove infected tissue or, stimulate immune recognition. Salicylic acid, for example, breaks down thickened skin layers gradually. Cryotherapy, on the other hand, freezes the tissue, damaging infected cells and prompting immune cleanup. The American Academy of Dermatology emphasizes that persistence matters. Warts resist treatment not because they are aggressive, but because the virus remains hidden until the immune system is fully engaged. Warts are contagious, but not in the way people usually fear. Warts can spread from one part of the body to another through small skin injuries, a process called auto-inoculation. They can also spread between people through direct contact, especially when the skin is wet or damaged. However, casual contact, such as shaking hands, rarely transmits the virus unless conditions are ideal. This is why, dermatologists often recommend covering warts in communal environments and avoiding picking at them, which can create new entry points for viral spread. The presence of a wart does not mean poor hygiene or poor health. One of the most persistent myths surrounding warts is that they reflect cleanliness or neglect. But honestly, this is just not supported by medical evidence. Warts affect people across all health backgrounds. The virus really just exploits opportunity, not lifestyle. Even athletes and healthcare workers who practice, rigorous hygiene develop warts due to frequent skin exposure and microtrauma. Warts are a reminder of how complex even simple skin can be. A wart may seem insignificant, but it actually represents an interaction between a virus, your immune system, and your environment that is far more intricate than it appears. It is not just a bump, it is, in fact, a biological negotiation unfolding in plain sight. If you found this explanation useful, consider supporting the channel by subscribing and sharing this video with someone who appreciates learning how everyday things really work. Simple things. Explained exists to make overlooked topics clear, accurate, and worth your time.